Hi, I'm Emma. Welcome to Emma Esoteric. This will be a tarot reading for the sign of Sagittarius. If you would like to book a personal reading, please go to emmaesoteric.com.au. You can view these readings like watching a movie or listening to a song. They may bring ideas, beliefs, or emotions to the forefront of your mind. You can interpret these readings any way you like. Nothing is set in stone. So we have the Two of Swords in the mental space here. There is a decision about which direction you are moving forward. There's a vision here or something that you aren't seeing. You aren't feeling it either. There is an ignorance. You may simply not be able to see or feel this situation. There is something that you are avoiding here. You may be avoiding paperwork with the Wheel of Fortune and the Justice underneath here with the Four of Cups. There is something that is quite significant that you kind of know that's coming in. To have the Tower, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Justice, this is all cause and effect. This is all some sort of karma, something that goes around, comes around. The energy is now turning in some way. And because the Justice card, this can be legally, or this can be just the laws of the reality here, the laws of the way things are. You have been ignoring something, you've been carrying something in the emotional space that you're not willing to put down or not wanting to put down. And it's like there's too much stuff around. And because there's too much stuff around you, inevitably you're going to drop. Inevitably something's going to fall. Inevitably it's going to get too much because of ignoring a situation. With the emotions in the background in the mental space, not wanting to make a decision, blindfolded here, you're not wanting to process the emotions. The Tower in the environment is a shocking realization when something comes in, and it feels like it comes in from the top and it's external to you as well. So someone may come in, something may happen where it's out of your control and you have no way of avoiding this inevitable situation that is coming in, something that I feel like you have done. So this is not wanting to face the consequences of a decision that you have made. We have the Page of Cups, feeling very like there's a lot of wishful thinking here, feeling very naive. And the Knight of Cups, there is movement, there is progression. Again, this emotional situation is coming towards you. Someone may be getting the courage to speak to you emotionally or talk to you about something emotional. They're coming to you with armor, though. They're coming to you guarded. And the King of Cups. What's the chances? What is the chances of the Page of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the King of Cups, and the Two of Cups? And the Four of Cups is underneath again. and the Justice. And yeah, it just feels like you're holding on to something that's, I'm going to say it's good for you. Like it doesn't feel like this situation is negative. It feels like someone is maturing. They're showing a growth. They're showing growth here. They're showing maturity. There's a connection. There is an emotional connection. Either you're avoiding this growth, you're avoiding this emotional connection, or someone knows that they can't get through to you. What an interesting spread in the mental space, though. I have this overwhelming feeling of needing to sneeze. So this burden here is the Eight of Pentacles. Heads down, thumbs up. It's a game we used to play as kids. That you put your head down, and if you were... How did the game go? You put your head down, you had your thumbs up. And someone picked you, you'd put your thumb down, I think. Can't remember how you won. I think you won if you still had your thumbs up or something. I can't remember very well, but there's something significant about wanting to be picked or wanting something but not wanting to initiate it, or not wanting to see how you've gained something, how you've won something, how you're achieving something. If that's the... Oh no, it's the Ace of Wands. I was going to say that's the Three of Wands. Six of Wands. I don't know, it feels like... I was going to say, it feels like things are going really well, and then there's just something very tricky about this energy. Because you're avoiding. There's avoidance here. The Two of Swords is blindfolded. The Ten of Wands is not wanting to see. You have the Tower in the environment, but then you're avoiding all this emotion. So why are you avoiding this emotional connection? Obviously, there's maturity here. Obviously, someone has grown up. They have matured. They are wanting to offer you something. In the emotional space, again, you're going to be left with this Ace of Wands. You're going to have to drop all these responsibilities in order to pursue this passion. And I can't figure out if this is a relationship thing, if this is a work thing, because we have work in the emotional space and a relationship in the mental space that you're not wanting to process, that you're not wanting to look at. You may be delving into work to avoid this as well. I mean, if you're avoiding this, you have to be avoiding it some way. It could be through work. But why would you avoid something so, so emotionally supportive, emotionally stable, emotional growth, emotional connection? Is there a sense of wondering whether there is, like, it's too good to be true, or there's sabotage here? Are you worried that someone might sabotage this happiness, or you might sabotage this happiness? The Tower, the Emperor. This is the person who's the ruler of the Tower. The structure, the foundation, the one who's in charge. And there's the Queen of Pentacles. The manager. The nurturer. The one who organizes and makes things very homely. There are three individuals here as well. Well, there's more than three because there's the page and the knight, but it feels like the knight, the page, and the king is the same person. This may be a relationship breakup, actually. And someone is emotionally connected to the King of Cups, and they're not wanting to accept that because of what's happening in the environment. It's like not wanting to move on too quickly, or not wanting to accept that you have feelings for someone else, and that's why there's this chaos that's happening in the environment. The Star. Very interesting card to come out afterwards because it's healing. It's letting go of the emotions. And there's the Devil. Someone may have been committed to someone for financial reasons. and they feel obligated or stuck to someone due to financial situations. Like they married someone and that marriage contract or that marriage agreement has consumed them financially, or they have bought assets for someone and they feel restricted, or they've signed a contract with a workplace and it's something that's not following their dreams. It's not something that they feel like they are emotionally progressing in. So this can be you, Sagittarius, or this can be someone around you. This reading is very hard to really really get through what is actually happening here, because it seems like the barrier that you are putting up is so strong that I'm struggling to look past it. So I'm not gonna try and delve too deep into this, because it seems pretty simple. You're avoiding emotional growth and you're avoiding an emotional connection. For whatever reason, I don't know. And to be honest, it's not really any of my business and I'm not going to pry into it. But it feels like you are avoiding an emotional connection. You are delving into work and you are using work as your drive and your motivation at the moment. You are getting your emotional needs met through work, your emotional passions through work. All your desires are coming from what you're doing with work. And because you are avoiding this emotional connection, whether this be with yourself, with someone else, with a potential partner, with whoever this is, this person who's maturing and is wanting a connection with you, you are maturing and wanting to open up your emotions within yourself, whatever this is, because you're avoiding this and you are using work as an escape and an emotional support. There is a change within that structure in the environment. There's a change within the way you are being nurtured around work. Your boss may change their demeanor around you. Your husband, your wife may change the way they are acting towards you. There may be something to do with a messy house, or if your partner is not cleaning up after themselves, if there is something to do with the house breaks down, if there is a leak, especially if there's a water leak. Like if you're noticing, like if you've got, say, pipes or things and they burst, or you've got a fish tank and it leaks, or there's lots of spills, or there's lots of water situations going on where there's a lot of water stuff going on, that's an indication that someone needs to release some type of emotion here. So there is something happening in the environment where someone is holding on to their emotions, and that holding on to their emotions is turning into an addictive trait, because they're suppressing what they want within what looks like a relationship here, whether this be a relationship with someone they're with or a relationship with someone they want to be with. So because of this suppression and this avoidance, it's gotten to a point where things are now starting to kind of crumble, and the unseen is now starting to become seen. It's the universal code. It has to happen that way. There's also a strategy around this as well. So it's not something that's going to, because the king is a strategist. So even though, like, it's calculated in some way, there is something, and it's not necessarily an individual that's doing this, like with the Seven of Swords. It's not someone that's individually doing this to achieve something deceitful. It's more there's a strategy around this because the emotions have to get released. It's funny, I was actually watching a new program on Netflix last night, and I really enjoyed it. But there was this lady in there, and she was like the manager or the assistant or something, a big corporation. And she goes, I only cry once a year. And she was kind of very stoic, very funny, but she was very kind of stern as well. She goes, I only cry once a year, and it's usually for about 12 hours. And at least she cries, at least she lets those emotions out. At least she's kind of vulnerable in that way. and she gives herself that time. So it's like, yeah, she has control over that. It's like this situation, you've controlled so much, and you've had it, like, you feel like you're winning over the universe. You feel like by not letting these emotions in, or not letting this maturity in, or not progressing in this way and delving into like using your passions or your desires to override your emotions, that you're cheating the universe in some way. But really, at the end of the day, because you're not giving yourself the time to grieve, to feel, to emotionally mature, to heal in any way, or to feel these emotions, this dance of happiness, and be clear with your emotional communication, something's going to come in the environment, and it's going to come in with tenacity here and expression. It's going to come in and it's going to kind of almost force it out of you to express yourself. Judgment and mobility and strength. And it has to do with you holding on and replacing your emotional expression or your emotional maturity, holding on to that and not sharing it with someone around you who is close and deserving of that. Because there is a partnership here. So, for example, if you've been in a long-term relationship for many, many years, and you guys are married, and you're both matured emotionally over that time, but you are not sharing that emotional maturity with your partner, and your partner is at the point now where they're at this status of nurturing and caring and giving, but you're not reciprocating that with some type of mature or stable energy as well, and you're just running the place like you're running a business, and there's no love involved, and you're avoiding the feelings of love and maturity through work, then something inevitably is going to happen to change that, because it's causing some type of pain, because there wouldn't be the star without pain. But I don't feel like this is necessarily about this Queen of Pentacles individual and about what they're going through, because you wouldn't even know, because you're not even emotionally involved. So even if they were to clearly express to you what would make them happy, you're avoiding this. Just had kind of deja vu, which I've had kind of all morning, to be honest. I feel like this is one of those days where I've repeated a day. Like I've had this day before, and not like a dream. Like I feel like I've had this day before literally, and I can't remember it. It's weird. It's a strange feeling. It's very different to the deja vu I usually feel. So today's date, this will be obviously posted a few days later, but just so you know, today's date is the Thursday, the 13th of April here in Australia, and it's around 10:13 a.m. So there's something very significant around today, and a sense of, it's like something you feel like you've done before, or a feeling that you feel like you've done before, a strategy, like there's something here where you know something, or the day's going in a particular way where you feel like it's going one way. You like have this vision of how things are going to align that day. But then there seems something very ominous or strategic or different here. Selfless act and trust. Clear communication. So again, this Queen of Pentacles with their selfless act, they may bring you information and you may have to trust them. I'm going to get another set of cards. Cards. What's this like tower communication thing that's happening here? What's this Queen of Pentacles? what's she doing? I don't think it's necessarily something she's doing, but she may have a lot of energy within her that's causing this as well. But it just feels like a lot of built up energy that needs to come out somewhere. I actually had a very fascinating dream last night, actually, that I might share. It's already 20 minutes, but I feel like it's very significant because there is water here and a tower and things. I didn't have it last night. I had it this morning just before I woke up, actually. So it was the last dream I had when I woke up. There was 3 people. I was one of them, and we were going down a water slide. And there were 2 people at the end of the water slide, and I was supposed to get off the water slide so I could go down, but they weren't getting off, and they were kind of blocking the end of the water slide. And then at the end of the water slide, there was like this kind of deep pool that you go in to get out kind of thing, so you dunk in. But they hadn't quite got off the water slide. And I was waiting up the top, but I was getting impatient, and I started like messing around up the top, like kind of swinging on a few things and being a bit silly. And I ended up slipping and going down the water slide. And as I went down, I pushed the 2 people at the end of the water slide off the water slide, and it created, like in this little pool area, it created like almost like a stormy whirlwind of waves. And the first person that was sitting at the edge got pushed off so far because I was there, and then it pushed someone else, and then the last person got pushed, and the last person got pushed into this whirlwind of like water and ended up getting like dunked in, so much so that I ended up having to swim in and save them because they were gonna, like, they were pretty close to drowning. And funny enough, when we all got brought back into like the swimming area after we got off the water slide, the 2 people that were in trouble were the 2 people that were sitting at the end of the water slide. And they ended up like having to be like interrogated as to why they were sitting at the end of the water slide. So it wasn't necessarily my fault. I did feel responsible, but I wasn't the one that was in trouble. So it's like there's something here where it feels like play. Yeah, play, balance, peace, forgiveness, dreams. It feels like someone's here is getting impatient with the 2 people at the end who are not like enjoying themselves. They're not fully immersing into themselves. They're not mastering themselves. They're not coming into this watery energy. So I don't know if this is like I said, I don't know what the 2 people in my dream were significant. Like, I don't know why there are 2 people in my dream, whether that's significant to this reading. But the whole point of that, the whole point why I'm giving that story is because there's something here where someone's getting bored and they're not getting fulfilled with their emotional connection with the people around them. And there's a sense of when they actually go and like when they're like trying to entertain themselves or trying to bide time, something keeps happening where something keeps messing up. And it's getting to the point where, because the person who is being perceived as like guilty for messing things up, they're not the ones that are actually responsible for the whatever this tower situation is. It's just happening that way because like it's inevitable. I had to go down the slide eventually. Otherwise, I would have to go back down the other way and not go down the slide. And what fun would that be? I was waiting patiently for the people to get off, but they weren't getting off. They were wasting their time. And I don't know what they were doing sitting there. So basically, for you to be able to move forward, whether you're the Queen of Pentacles or your partner's the Queen of Pentacles or your friend's the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles person is sitting at the top of the water slide, waiting to play, trying to find balance, trying to find peace, trying to forgive the person for interrupting their dreams, what they want to do with their self. And then we've got the King of Cups here, which is the Emperor, who is being very stern and stoic within themselves, trying to control everything, not wanting to master themselves here with the King of Cups here. Not finding inspiration with like play, and like the water slide is like fun, so they're not finding that inspiration with play. They're not finding that like inspiration here with the like passion with the Page of Wands. They are blocking this play, so eventually something is going to happen where there's some kind of unblocking. And like I said, because this is an emotional thing, this may represent in things like something in your house, like flooding, or for example, or something where there's some type of leakage or there's a lot of rain or something's happening. So if you're noticing around you where there's a lot of watery situations that are occurring, it's because there's a lack of emotional play and a lack of emotional involvement, and something's become too business orientated within a relationship. All right. I'm going to leave that there. That was a very tricky reading to get out, but I think it all kind of made sense in the end. Very long reading as well. My apologies. Have a lovely day. Bye.